Still looking at me.
And what's going on, Mighty Gang? It's the Multitasker back into another reaction video. Now, before I go with this video, let me get this out of the way by addressing of yesterday that I failed to do so, and that is that we have 300 subscribers to this channel. I mean, damn. I mean, this is definitely a good start, not a bad number. And let me just first off say I appreciate for everybody to join in, subscribe to this channel, because I mean, that's all I am. Because all I like to do is simply to react of the things that I like to see, of the things that I'm into, you know, from comics to anime, movies, TV shows, that, because being as a geek, and at the same time, you know, posting of the video games that I'm mostly into. Mostly there are times that it's fighting games and shooting games, because that's all I'm all about. And yes, some of the videos are crappy and not perfect, but, you know, perfection is overrated. And the only thing I've learned of myself is that always try to keep going forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything about it. It's all about what you can do and to make people happy. And that's all I wanted to do, is to please you guys and make you guys happy. And that's something you wanted to see, or something you like something that you can own. And that's all I wanted to do for you guys. So that's all it is. It's about keep forward and stay positive no matter what. And it's speaking of moving forward, let's see if we can try to push that number, even go further, to say about like maybe 400 or to 500. Let's make this happen. So this is basically me is simply ask for you guys to spread this word to everyone that to join into Mighty Avenger 30. Join and subscribe, where I could do reaction. If you have any requested videos you want me to react, like I always say, I'll be more than happy to do so for you, because I'm all about entertainment. And not to mention, there will be games I'm going to be posting on, and editing I'm going to be doing, and not to mention streaming. If you wanted to join and wanted to have a little chat, hey, I'm all about multitasking, and that's the key word about it, multitasking. And that's all I'm all good at it. So let's spread this word. Pretty please? Cherry on top? Alright, anyways. As you recall, I did the top 10 games that deserve to be rebooted, that was requested from Storm Shadow. Apparently, now I've been told that there's part 2 of other games that deserve for a second chance. So this is what you consider as a top 20 of the video games that deserve to be rebooted. So I already made my own personal opinion that Turok deserves a second chance. Now let's see what other games that needs to, you know, bring back that we all used to love back in the 90s. So without further ado, it's time to react.
Here are 10 more classics for your consideration. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for another top 10 video games that deserve a reboot.
You must be the Hopkins boy.
Where'd you come from?
We've been expecting you.
Now, I never
With over
played
350
Bully,
games suggested by you,
but
Mojo
from what I
Holics, it's
heard
clear that not everyone's pick is going to make this list. And because of this, we decided to exclude games that already appeared on our top 10 most wanted HD remakes list, such as F-Zero.
I used to play F-Zero 64.
Also, since this is our second list on this topic, if your favorite wasn't on here, be sure to check out our previous list to see if it made it there.
I used to play R4.
Number 10, Advanced Wars. Western players did not get a taste of Nintendo's Wars series until the Game Boy Advance. Yet, it quickly garnered a huge following and was one of the best games on the system.
Still,
I never got a chance to play that. I wish I did. Turn-based gameplay or the excellent multiplayer map function. Even though there's mounds of replayability, there was comparably little lore to get your teeth stuck into, bar a few recurring elements like the Orange Star Nation and the selection of commanding officers. Furthermore, the turn-based strategy genre has seen a new age of revival as of late thanks to the likes of XCOM's own Reboot and Nintendo's other RTS series, Fire Emblem. So this seems like a no-brainer. Number 9, Jet Force Gemini. Another one of those gems off of Rare's production line, this sci-fi third-person shooter sadly never got a sequel, perhaps as a result of selling only 1 million copies, a relatively small figure for the developers of the mammoth N64 successes like GoldenEye 007 and Banjo-Kazooie.
I played the most out of it.
Even by today's standards, its overworld seems enormous, and after your epic bug-blasting adventure is over, you'll be sad to leave Juno, Vela, Lupus, and the adorable Tribal behind. There's still plenty of interest in the IP, however. It was part of Rare's replay collection, and Microsoft still holds an active trademark, meaning an explosive return for our spacefaring trio might not be too far-fetched to dream. Number 8, Earthworm Jim.
Hell yeah!
This groovy worm might have drifted out of popularity since the turn of the century, yet the series' trademark surrealist humor remains an asset ready for interpretation.
I apologize for pausing, but just seeing Earthworm Jim being as a part of the top 10, I don't have to tell you how I used to play this game. Even I played the sequel, and yes, I did play the N64. It was a little confusing, I think it was. It was a little complex, but I enjoyed it the most time when I had the Sega Genesis. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there is they were talk about of trying to bring back of that franchise. It's in development. That's what I've heard. That's all I know. But what do I know?
Rumors about a 4th Jim title have swirled since 2008, and while Gameloft did grace us with a fantastic HD remaster of the original game in 2010, we still haven't seen anything original since Jim's 3D disaster. If Gameloft can pull off a remaster, imagine what could be done with a bit more creative freedom. That's not to say the series works only as a platformer, however. As the animated show demonstrates, this mighty fine fellow possesses as much flexibility as you would expect.
He's such a groovy guy. He rockets through the sky.
Number 7, Bully.
Here you go.
Oh, Jimmy, thank you. You're wonderful.
Now, this is the game.
Many say that this open-world title from Rockstar is just GTA in school. A fair enough criticism. Bully features a typical rise-to-power plot and plenty of violence, yet the Bulworth Academy setting is so distinct that it's a tragedy it never received a sequel. School life produces such a steady stream of relatable narratives and interesting mechanics that it's unusual how few games have exploited such a common experience.
Yeah, sure.
Minor gameplay elements are one area where a Bully reboot could certainly improve. Its minigames were pretty repetitive. Yet, with Dan Houser still interested in the game's compelling teenage tales, we might finally get those tweaks after more than a decade of school.
You've done a lot of naughty things, haven't you? Vandalism, graffiti, bad language, violent conduct, disrespecting staff. Oh, I'm scared of you, Hopkins.
Number 6, Dino Crisis.
The brass is still warm. These guards were shooting at something very recently.
You'd think you just need one simple equation to sell this series. Survival horror plus dinosaurs equals profit, right? In the franchise's early life, that equation was working out perfectly. Yet, similarly to the Resident Evil series that the first game is often compared to, Capcom veered the franchise towards an action orientation, much to its detriment. Dino Crisis 3's notoriously terrible camera killed the series. But now with VR storming into the mainstream, the prospect of being stalked by Jurassic tormentors has never been so terrifying.
Back then, it was hard.
Number 5, Jak and Daxter.
Dinosaurs chopping you up.
It wasn't through a lack of effort from Naughty Dog that this popular platformer series went relatively dormant in the 2010s, as various circumstances conspired to prevent them from taking their concept any further.
You sure know how to shoot.
The move to the PS3 and Naughty Dog's focus on mature games held the proposed reboot back, denying the fanbase a game that would likely be polarizing.
I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened.
People do miss the
What?
Dexter
Keeping everyone happy
series.
will be the challenge of any
It
new
was
Jack
such a
game.
popular-
It'll have to be faithful yet fresh, with a story that is as memorable as the previously established lore.
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form.
It can be done. The Ratchet & Clank reboot has reinvigorated that series. It just needs a careful hand, or a paw, if you get my meaning.
Forget it, buddy. Jack would
I
never
get what
do
you're
it.
saying.
What? Don't worry. Number 4, Burnout.
Oh my god. Yes. This
As
is
breathtakingly large
this
as
is my
open-world racing
all-time.
games like The Crew undeniably are, they're often lacking in the thrills and exhilaration department.
I still have the Burnout
Even if you're more
Paradise.
inclined about a serious racing experience,
But the
you can't
games
deny
I
Burnout status
enjoyed
as a
the
genre
most
leader
was-
in competitive carnage.
Burnout 3 to take down and Burnout
The
Revenge.
series'
Those are
earlier
my
entries,
two. Those are my two
particularly Takedown,
go-to games
were a
of all
must-have
time.
on the 6th generation of consoles, as the now legendary Crash modes also transformed it into an all-out vehicular combat title.
This was shit for me. I really miss it so much.
Smashing
all
your friends
the
into
money
oncoming
you
traffic at
can
150 miles per hour
all
is
the
one of the best
cars you can
multiplayer
get,
experiences
the
you
fast
can have.
ones.
Let's hope that Three Fields Entertainment's long-touted spiritual successor gets us where we need to go.
Please, I beg of you.
Number 3, Spyro the Dragon. Before Skylanders turned the fearsome little purple dragon into a barely recognizable frog-like abomination, Spyro was challenging Super Mario 64 as the best 3D platformer available.
Spyro, thanks for helping us fight off the lizards. Please take this talisman of
Well, we
glimmer as a
definitely
sign
have
of our
the-
gratitude.
Even though
the
the series' quality
Reignition
deteriorated when
edition,
Insomniac Games
basically a
shifted their focus to
remaster
Ratchet
of
&
all
Clank,
the 3
fans have never
games.
given up hope of returning to the innocent essence of that trio of original games. They didn't innovate considerably in terms of gameplay, but instead added new characters like Hunter the Cheetah and Bianca to further develop Spyro's story. For gamers of a certain era, the adorable dragon was there as you grew up. So it's time to show this generation what a real Spyro title looks like.
How sad. Look here, Dragon.
I'm pretty
if
sure
you know what's good
everybody
for you, you'll
would
turn
agree
around
that
and
that's
crawl
the
back
same
up that
thing
hole
as
you
well.
came through.
Number 2, Time Splitters. It might not have been a big seller, but this GoldenEye-inspired FPS stuck long in the memory for those lucky enough to pick it up. The cartoonish style and wacky sense of humor is so fondly remembered by one hardy group of fans that they've spent nearly 4 years developing their
I've
own
heard about
version
it.
of the original game. The time-traveling elements of this franchise afford a reboot an unlimited degree of freedom, meaning it could be entirely possible to play as a gingerbread man in Victorian England. It's not all gimmicks and giggles, however. Features like a map editor and multiplayer AI added the kind of depth that even the most hardcore shooter can definitely respect. Before we reveal our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Oh, I used to play this game when my friend had the PlayStation. Yeah, Legacy of Kain. That was. I felt it was a good game. Fuck it, man.
Number 1, Crash Bandicoot.
It had to be him.
We are getting a remaster of the first 3 games. Crash is appearing in the upcoming
Which it
Skylanders
already
title,
did.
and he's even had a cameo in Uncharted 4.
But from what I understand, the game is harder than it is in the original.
Surely the way is paved for a
I'm
whole
just
new
glad I'm not-
platformer featuring
I'm
our
glad I
favorite
didn't
marsupial,
pick this
right?
game up.
While Skylanders is not the platform fans were hoping any original story would come on,
Obviously.
Crash's HD design looks promising, and developers Vicarious Visions have said they're working hard to recreate the way that he moves and behaves. Anyone given the responsibility of bringing Sony's spinning mascot back should follow Naughty Dog's lead. Their 4 games account for nearly half of the 50 million units that the series sold. If they could bring it back successfully, we'd all be in for a whumping good time.
Yeah,
Do you agree with our list?
That
Don't
should
be
be.
afraid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What?
Which series do you think should be reimagined from the ground up? For more gaming top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is that we got the Crash Bandicoot remaster game. Yeah, and as I said, from what I understand is that it's hard than the original. That maybe it's that time that Naughty Dog should focus on try to reviving of that franchise into a whole new and original story. So that's just my opinion that they should focus of a fresh new story. So now, I strongly, of my opinion, that we should revive Burnout series. Simply start back to the beginning, and that simply go to every bits and pieces from every of the last 3 original series, including Burnout Revenge, because this is one of the game series that I missed the most. And it should deserve a second chance to be rebooted and be more fun and wreak havoc to the interstate, to the freeway. I mean, that's what it's so fun about. And especially to Earthworm Jim. I hope they are considering of trying to bring back and be in development, because I would like to see as a demo, because I want to see the return of Earthworm Jim just for one last time, even to have to be just one game. That's fine. I can accept that, but it's just we all wanted to see Jim just once again. And unfortunately, this is where I'm going to end this video. So I apologize for talking. It's just, that's the thing we all love and we care about of the games back in the day. And that's something that definitely needs to be discussed with. And also, again, thank you for being supportive in the fact that 300 subscribers. Again, let's push this a little bit further. And, I've been dealing with so much crap for the past few days. And, and I'll do my best to try to ignore all that and just to keep forward and just being positive and just kill the noise. You know what I mean? With that said, Money Adventure signing out, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So, take care, guys.